Chapter 1. A thought-provoking question. Have you ever considered how mental health symptoms might manifest differently in Black men? This is a question we seldom ask, yet it's crucial. Mental health is a universal concern, yet we often overlook how it's influenced by societal pressures and stereotypes, especially among Black men. It's high time we acknowledged and addressed this issue. So, let's start a conversation that matters. Let's delve into understanding mental health symptoms in Black men, because understanding is the first step towards acceptance and change. In this Help the People video, we will look into understanding mental health symptoms in Black men. Chapter 2. Unmasking the myths. There are countless myths surrounding mental health in Black men, and it's time to debunk them. The first myth we often encounter is the notion that Black men are somehow immune to mental health issues. This couldn't be further from the truth. Mental health doesn't discriminate. It affects people of all races, ages, and genders. The second myth is the stereotype of the strong Black man who doesn't need help. It paints a picture of invincibility and self-reliance that can be harmful. It implies that seeking help for mental health issues is a sign of weakness, which is not the case. Seeking help when it's needed is a sign of strength, not weakness. Another myth that's often perpetuated is that mental health issues are a sign of a weak mind or lack of faith. This is an outdated and harmful belief. Now, why are these misconceptions harmful? They create a culture of silence and stigma around mental health. They discourage individuals from seeking help, and they further isolate those who are already struggling. They also perpetuate harmful stereotypes that can lead to discrimination and prejudice. But the truth is, mental health issues are not a sign of weakness. They are not a result of personal failure, and they certainly do not discriminate based on race or gender. They are complex conditions that require understanding, compassion, and professional help. These myths also overlook the fact that Black men may experience unique stressors and challenges related to their mental health, including racial discrimination and social economic disparities. It's essential to recognize these unique factors and provide culturally sensitive and inclusive mental health care. It's time we separate fact from fiction and address these misunderstandings. Mental health is a universal concern that deserves our attention and understanding. It's time to break the silence, challenge the myths, and create a culture of mental health, awareness, and acceptance for everyone. Chapter 3. Recognizing the symptoms. Recognizing the symptoms is the first step towards understanding mental health. Now, when we talk about symptoms, we're not necessarily talking about physical signs like a fever or a rash. Mental health symptoms can be a little more subtle, a little more personal, and sometimes a little harder to recognize. Recognizing the symptoms. Common symptoms can include persistent feelings of sadness, anger, or hopelessness. Imagine waking up every day with a heavy weight on your chest, or feeling constantly on edge like you're always waiting for the other shoe to drop. These emotional states are not just fleeting moments of moodiness, but rather consistent, ongoing feelings that can significantly impact daily life. Changes in sleeping or eating habits can also be signs. Maybe you're finding it hard to sleep or sleeping too much. Maybe you're eating too little or too much. While we all have off days, it's when these patterns persist that they can signal a deeper issue. Withdrawal from social activities is another symptom. If you're finding that you're no longer interested in things you once enjoyed, or you're isolating yourself from friends and family, it could be indicative of a mental health concern. Now, it's important to highlight that these symptoms can manifest differently in Black men. For example, feelings of anger or irritability might be more prominent. This is not because Black men are inherently more angry or irritable, but rather, it could be a response to systemic stressors and unique cultural experiences. And let's be clear, experiencing these symptoms is not a sign of weakness. It doesn't make you less of a man or less of a person. It's not something to be ashamed of. It's a call for understanding and support. It's a sign that you might need to reach out for help, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. So remember, recognizing the symptoms is the first step. The next step is reaching out for help. And the final step? Well, that's understanding that it's okay not to be okay. Because these symptoms are not a sign of weakness, rather a call for understanding and support. Chapter 4. The Role of Culture and Society. Our culture and society play a significant role in how we perceive and handle mental health. It's no secret that the world we live in is a complex web of interactions and influences. Our everyday lives are shaped by the society we're a part of and the culture we identify with. But have you ever stopped to consider how these factors might impact our mental health? Let's start with societal pressures. As men, we're often expected to be the strong ones, the pillars of stability. This expectation can be even more pronounced for Black men, who may also face the added pressures of racial bias and discrimination. These societal expectations can lead to a culture of silence around mental health, where seeking help is seen as a sign of weakness rather than an act of self-care. Now let's shift our focus to cultural beliefs. In many cultures, mental health is a topic that's often swept under the rug. It's something that's whispered about in hushed voices, if it's talked about at all. This lack of open conversation can create a stigma around mental health, making it harder for those struggling to reach out for help. These societal pressures and cultural beliefs can contribute to higher stress levels, potentially leading to mental health issues. It's a vicious cycle where the stress of conforming to societal expectations exacerbates mental health problems, and the stigma associated with mental health prevents individuals from seeking the help they need. But it's important to remember that these cultural and societal influences are not set in stone. They can be challenged, they can be changed. We can create a society where mental health is discussed openly, where seeking help is seen as a sign of strength, and where every individual is valued for who they are, not what they're expected to be. Society's expectations can often mask the reality of mental health struggles. But we have the power to change that narrative, to break down the walls of silence and stigma, and create a society that values mental health and well-being. Chapter 5. Seeking Help and Breaking the Stigma. Seeking help is not a sign of weakness, but of strength. A powerful statement that rings true for anyone dealing with mental health issues. But today, let's delve deeper into its significance, particularly for Black men navigating the complexities of mental health. When we think of strength, we often picture physical toughness or emotional resilience. But there's another kind of strength that's just as vital: the strength to acknowledge when things aren't okay, the courage to reach out and seek professional help. This form of strength is perhaps the most critical in managing mental health, and it's a step we should encourage all to take. Professional help can come in many forms: a trusted therapist, a supportive counselor, or a knowledgeable psychiatrist. These individuals have the training and expertise to guide us through the challenges of mental health, offering strategies and therapies that can make a world of difference. Yet there's a hurdle that many Black men face when considering this path: the stigma surrounding mental health. This invisible barrier, built by societal misconceptions and cultural norms, can deter individuals from seeking the help they need. But here's the thing about stigmas: they're breakable. And breaking the mental health stigma starts with us, with open conversations, with empathy, and with a willingness to challenge outdated perceptions. When we break this stigma, we create a domino effect of positive changes. We pave the way for better support systems where friends and family become allies in mental health rather than critics. We promote healthier coping mechanisms, replacing harmful habits with constructive behaviors. And most importantly, we foster an environment where Black men feel safe and supported in addressing their mental health. In breaking the stigma, we also challenge the narrative. We rewrite the story of what it means to be a strong Black man, acknowledging that strength includes the courage to seek help, the resilience to confront mental health issues, and the ability to rise above societal pressures. In understanding and addressing mental health symptoms in Black men, we take a step towards a healthier, more understanding society. Remember, seeking help isn't just about individual growth. It's about societal progress too. And that's a strength we can all stand behind. Mental health matters, and it's high time we understood that it doesn't discriminate based on color, It's crucial to understand that mental health issues are not a sign of weakness, nor are they a product of one's race or color. They're a human experience affecting people from all walks of life, including Black men. We've unmasked some harmful myths that often act as barriers to understanding and addressing mental health issues. We've debunked the fallacy that Black men are somehow immune to these challenges, that they must always be strong, or that seeking help is a sign of weakness. These misconceptions do more harm than good, and it's time we put them to rest. Recognizing the symptoms of mental health issues is a vital first step towards getting help. Ignoring or downplaying these signs can lead to dire consequences, so it's essential to take them seriously. We've also discussed the role of culture and society in shaping perceptions of mental health. Cultural nuances and societal pressures can often exacerbate the challenges faced by Black men dealing with mental health issues. But it's important to remember that these issues are not a personal failing. Remember, it's okay not to be okay, and seeking help is a sign of strength, not weakness. It's time to break the stigma, to start conversations, and to create a supportive environment for everyone struggling with their mental health. Learn more with the next video from Help the People. Please leave us a comment or two. It helps us create the content you want and need. And hit the like button so others can get this valuable information.